You guys really want me to talk about that vegan teacher. I haven't looked into her any more than the horse riding video. And I think when I did the vegan TikToks, I think she was in one of them. Someone was responding to something she said, and I didn't focus on her because what the person responding said was dumb, I think is what happened. But I'm just gonna watch some of these and see what they're like. And if it's just she's cringy, then you won't see this video. It won't even be on the channel. But if there's something of substance, because some people have said, no, there's some things that she says that are wrong, and sometimes she is rather pushy. I think one person did say so. Anyway, let's do it. I have a bunch of links here that someone actually sent me. Thank you so much. That is so helpful. Of some of her more popular videos.
Religion? That's a good question. I think you should change your religion like you change your underwear. Change your religion. Show God that you really care. Change your religion. Try something new. Use your critical thinking skills to question all you eat, drink, buy, think, say, and do.
Okay, is that okay? I honestly cannot hear what she's saying, because what is that? Why is she doing that with the carrot? Why is she dipping it? The end, ew, who eats oh no, and they're not peeled. Is she trolling everyone? Like, this seems intentionally like she's playing up the I'm a vegan thing. This is what people think vegans do. We just dip carrots, unpeeled carrots. Like, it looks like she just pulled them out of the ground and dipped them in hummus. Like, that's what vegans do. Is that what she's doing? Because that's pretty funny. She's doing a damn good job if that's what she's doing. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm being trolled. No idea what she's saying.
You should change your religion if it tells you to be cruel. And change your religion if it has a strange or crazy rule. Change your religion. Why not be an atheist every Sunday? What's important, no matter what, is that you don't hurt animals in any way. Yeah. That's what I think. Carrot?
What was wrong with that? Absolutely. Absolutely. If your religion tells you to be cruel, it's shitty. I have a whole video. It's a response to a YouTuber who was using Christianity as an excuse, really, not to be vegan. And so if you're interested in that sort of stuff, you can check that out. But yeah, I personally have no problem with people being religious. I'm not religious myself. I literally never have been. My parents, it's weird to say, like, they raised me as an atheist. You don't really raise someone as an atheist. You just don't go to church. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't have a Bible in your house. But I really don't care as long as people are compassionate. And I think you can be a Christian, a Muslim, whatever you want, and still be compassionate. You can literally pick and choose what you want to take from those texts. I personally would rather you do that than take them at their word, because number one, there's a lot of inconsistencies, but number two, there's a lot of horrible shit just in the Bible alone that I would rather people not take to heart and believe. But point is, I thought that was fine, other than the whole thing. It was fine, other than 100% of it, which was not fine. No, the words itself, the changing, it was confusing at first, like, change your religion like you change your underwear. I don't really get that, but because it implies that you're constantly changing to a different religion. But ultimately her point, again, is just like, if your religion is cruel, like, maybe it's not good. Maybe it's just not good. Maybe you got born into the wrong religion. And again, I think there's some heavy trolling going on here. I respect it.
Religion is based on fairy tales, books that were written hundreds and thousands of years ago. They're not based on science. They have all kinds of crazy things in them. Veganism is based on science and compassion, but it's not a religion. Everybody can be vegan, no matter what your religion is, though. So I'm not sure why you're bringing Christianity into it. It has nothing to do with it, except that the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill," and reminds you constantly to feel for the victims, to be kind.
What am I missing? That was, am I team That Vegan Teacher now? I think I am. Yeah, veganism is not a religion. I guess you could say certain vegans treat it that way. And I think using religion as to mean dogmatic, right? Certainly there are dogmatic vegans. Certainly there are vegans who have, like many Christians, for instance, have adopted veganism as an identity. And so they feel very threatened when someone questions veganism or criticizes something that other vegans are saying, things that I do quite often. And I think that's why certain vegans get very, very upset with me, because for them, veganism is part of their identity. So it feels really horrible when someone even mildly criticizes it, you know? So in that way, I understand why people could say veganism is a religion, but obviously I think it's just another way for people to deflect and to not have to think about it. Oh, veganism is just this extreme religion that I don't have to think about it. Okay, cool. McDonald's, as in they're going to get McDonald's. That sounded weird. Okay, cool. McDonald's. And everyone can be vegan no matter what their religion. Absolutely. And yeah, I thought that was fine. I guess, you know, starting with it's based on fairy tales, it's not based on science, but it's not based on science. I mean, have you read the Bible? Do you know what's in the Bible? 2-0, vegan teacher. All right, let's do it. Video number 3. It's a doggo. Yeah, so obviously she feeds her dog, Bella, a vegan diet since August 2017. And I think I saw this actually. There's like a huge petition where people are trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do, but something about the dog being vegan. People are like, it's, you know, animal abuse or whatever. I've talked about this before, dogs and cats being vegan. And look, if you are still concerned, which I understand, if you are still concerned, which I understand, there are companies that are working on in vitro meat for pets. I talked on them recently. One is Because Animals, and the other one is Bond Pets or Bond Pet Foods, which I think is great because a lot of people just don't like the idea of, you know, not feeding dogs meat. So it would be really awesome to have a cruelty-free option to people that is like structurally in every way just meat, you know, except made in a lab, which I guess people also don't like, but maybe they won't care so much if it's for their pets. I don't know, man. People are pretty crazy when it comes to their pets. Anyway, 3-0, man. She's killing it.
Yes, God, I'm trying to deliver your message. I know, but I was just about to turn the camera on and then the devil came and broke my zipper. What the fuck do I do? Okay, I'll try. Hold on. If you want to get to heaven, you better be vegan. If you want to get to heaven, you better be vegan. If you don't believe me, do you want to bet? Because God has a message for you, and here it is. Why the fuck aren't you vegan yet? You better be vegan.
You guys need to see some more cringe, because that's like weak sauce. Like that's... It's kind of cringy, I guess, but again, I think she knows that, and I think maybe that's intentional. I mean, look, it's getting her a lot of attention, right? I'm pretty affected, like secondhand embarrassment. Oh, it is like, it can be physically painful sometimes, even if it's just like a movie and I know someone is just acting, it's just a character. Oh, it can be painful for me to watch, but I don't know, I still like a connoisseur of cringe. I don't know, but like this didn't even register. If you want to go to heaven, be vegan, sure. If there were a heaven and it were supposed to be for good people, I mean, it depends on how you define a good person. But I mean, that's kind of what the good place is getting at, right? I mean, how are you going to tick all those boxes? Like, what is good? Is there a scoring system? Is there like a number system? How exactly does this work? But presumably supporting cruelty to animals would lower your score at least somewhat. I don't know where I'm going with that. Weird video, but like, I don't know, whatever.
Hi, Bella eats a type of dog food that has been approved by the vet called Gather, or another one called Evolution. And you can just Google them and you can order them online.
I personally would never support Evolution as a brand. I would never feed their food to my animals. I've talked about that as well. My father lets me eat non-vegan food in front of him, even though he's vegan. But don't go saying, oh, he's not a real vegan, because he's a great person.
What a lot of people don't understand is there's a difference between being polite and being good. When you are polite, you say please and thank you, and oh no, it doesn't bother me if you eat other animals in front of me. That's okay. Being kind involves being tough and saying, no, that's not okay with me. And if you are the kid, you should know that if you do have an ethical parent who really cares about the animals, you are being completely disrespectful by eating dead animals in front of that person, because it does deeply affect them.
So I would say 100% you are completely being disrespectful to your parents. He's being polite, right? But that doesn't mean that it's not affecting him.
If you are the parent who is just vegan for health reasons, for selfish reasons, that's a totally different story. Parents, our job is not to be our kids' friends. Our job is to raise them properly and teach them right from wrong. Tell your kid to be vegan.
Yeah, I can see this video being a huge problem for people. I understand what she's saying. There is a difference between being polite and being good. Take the context out of it, the specific instance she's talking about. But obviously, there is a difference between being polite and being good. If you look at COVID-19, in the beginning and even now, wearing masks or shaking hands. For a long time, people were still shaking hands. It would be the polite thing to shake someone's hand back, right? Because that's what you do in America and other places. But the good thing to do would be to say, no, we can't do that right now. Pandemic, not a good idea. Hard to do, feels incredibly rude and horrible, but that is the correct response. That's the good response. So I think she's right in that sense. In terms of eating in front of other people, I think there's a really good argument to be made for being the kind of the beacon or the lighthouse, whatever people word it all different kinds of ways, but being an example. If you are someone who's vegan and you're constantly eating with other people who are not, and they're seeing that, there's a better chance that you are going to rub off on them at least a little bit, right? But if you are never there, because look, what's going to happen? It's very unlikely that your friends or relatives or whatever are just going to go, oh, okay, I just won't eat meat or whatever. It's more likely that you just aren't going to eat with them anymore. And so then I think your influence on them is going to be more limited. So I don't really agree with her that it's necessarily good to say, no, it's not okay for you to eat animals or animal byproducts in front of me. That said, I don't think you should lie. I think being honest is ultimately being kind. If someone asks you if it bothers you that they're eating whatever, you should be honest. Don't just say, oh, no, it's fine. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Like, be honest and say, yeah, it does. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. It's sad, it's really sad to me, which again, I know is hard, and I don't blame anyone for just saying, no, it's fine, because we all do that, at least sometimes. But ideally, we would be honest, I think, virtually all the time, if not all the time. Even with little things, even if someone asks you if you're fine and you're not fine, and you say, yeah, I'm fine, not to go off on a thing, but I really think that's something that we should stop doing. That's something I should stop doing. I don't like talking about my feelings. Ew, yuck, gross. I don't like if someone asks me, I just want to say, yeah, I'm fine, and leave it and not have to talk about it. But I think ideally we should be talking about these things, and we should be open and honest about what's going on in our lives. And we never know how it could turn out if we do, what kind of positive interactions we could have if we are honest with people. We really don't know what our friends and families can do for us and how they could potentially help us unless we're honest with them. So anyway.
If you are the parent who is just vegan for health reasons, for selfish reasons, that's a totally different story.
I don't know. That seemed a little unnecessarily aggressive. I mean, look, you guys know I'm not a health vegan by any means. I'm not vegan for health. I think that's pretty silly. I don't think you have to go vegan to be healthy, not at all. So I get where she's coming from in that sense, but I don't think someone is inherently selfish because they're a health vegan or dietary vegan or whatever you want to call them, plant-based, whatever. And I think often people start with the health stuff, just like I did. You start with the health stuff and then you move to the ethical stuff. So, yeah, maybe don't be so mean. I don't know.
Parents, our job is not to be our kids' friends. Our job is to raise them properly and teach them right from wrong.
Yeah, don't be your kid's friends. It depends, right? I think it depends on the kid and it depends on the parents. But generally, yeah, especially when your kids are younger. I've definitely met in my, younger years, parents who were trying to be like friends with us and kind of living vicariously through their kid and not wanting to really discipline their kid because they wanted to be seen as like the cool parent. And oh man, number one, kids see right through that shit. Stop. Number two, you need to be able to discipline your children, right? I mean, you need to find a way to strike that balance between having fun with your kids and having some sort of friendship. I don't know what you would call it, right? But something like that, but also being the disciplinarian, because you gotta do that. Somebody's gotta do it.
Tell your kid to be vegan.
Their father, if he just went vegan, maybe don't do that to your kid. Don't just go, hey, we're vegan now, suck it up. Maybe there's gotta be some transitioning in there. And you guys know I'm raising my 2 little kids vegan, and certainly I will not be buying them animal products or anything like that, barring some sort of, again, medical concern. That's very, very likely not going to happen. But yeah, if they grow up and just want to start eating, meat or something, no, I'm not going to buy them meat. And no, I'm not going to allow it in my house. If they want to use their own money to go to McDonald's and eat chicken nuggets or whatever, like that's fine. They can do whatever they want, but I don't want it in the house, and I am not going to pay for it with my own money. So yeah, I thought that was pretty fine as well. Maybe these all happen to be videos that are actually like not terrible. I don't know. What about mosquitoes? Oh. Uh-oh.
Are we allowed to kill bugs that are attacking us? If a mosquito comes and lands on me and is trying to attack me and take my blood, am I allowed to slap it and murder it? The answer is yes. Obviously, I would try not to. But if I am being attacked, I have a right to defend myself, just as if you came and tried to take a bite out of me. The idea of being vegan is that we try to do the least harm possible.
I thought for sure, oh my God, she's going to say you can't kill mosquitoes, start talking about the whole genetically modifying mosquitoes and how that's wrong. That's what I was thinking. But no, that was totally fine. What am I missing here? Is it the shirts? Is it just because she's wearing the shirts and she's a little goofy? Let's just say, hypothetically, if you ever had kids, would you force them to be vegan, or would you give them the free will to eat how they choose?
What do you mean by force? To me, the word force means physically force. Animal rights activists don't pay money for other people to kill animals. Do we have a right to give small children dead animals on their plates when they have not given consent to that murder? Most kids, if you'd ask them, do you want to eat an apple, or do you want me to take a knife and kill that pig for you? They probably would say, I'll eat the apple. I'll hang out with the pig.
I think that is actually a really good argument. This is so funny to me. I'm loving this video. This is turning out to be a really positive video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I think it is something that we should consider. So a lot of people, including a lot of vegans, view forcing their kids to be vegan as forcing them to be vegan. Now, of course, forcing does not just mean physical. And clearly, when you have children, you are forcing them to do certain things. I am forcing my kids to live in this house. I am forcing them to stay inside and not go outside for the last fucking week because this air has been literally hazardous. But yeah, I have not let them go outside in over a week now. They don't even seem to care. My kids are amazing. They don't even give a shit. They're just playing inside. Like, tiny baby just follows toddler around. They play with blocks. They run around. They growl at each other. Terrific. But I like what she's saying about consent on the part of the child and what exactly they are consenting to. Now, I don't, her example of the apple and the, pig, well, yeah, okay. But it's not so much important what the child wants in that moment because they don't really understand. If I offer a kid an apple or a lollipop, they're going to eat the lollipop. They don't understand nutrition or anything like that. What's important to me is how they're going to feel when they grow up. And I think that's something we need to take into account. How would my child feel when they are no longer a child, or maybe an older kid, 15-year-old or something, knowing that they grew up subsisting on animal products? I would feel absolutely horrible if I fed my kids animal products because I thought, well, I don't want to force them. I should let them eat whatever they want, I guess. I don't want to force them to be vegan. And then they grow up and they're like, what the hell? Especially for me, who is vegan and knows it's wrong. I would hate for them to grow up and like, what the hell? You knew it was wrong and you did it anyway because you didn't want to force. What are you taught? You're a parent. You forced me to do all sorts of shit and to not do shit. Why is that where you draw the line? What the fuck? That would be really horrible to me. Whereas the opposite of like, what? Oh, mom, you didn't feed me food that I can eat right now if I want. What? Like, they're not comparable in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I just think that's something that vegans need to consider before deciding that they're going to feed their kids animal products so that they're not forcing their lifestyle on them. Which is, I mean, even, I don't know, thinking of it as a lifestyle is problematic. Again, we're getting closer to the whole identity thing, and I think that's a problem. I don't identify as a vegan. Yes, I am vegan, but it is not part of my identity. It's why I can criticize it and I can listen to people criticizing it without feeling, attacked. And yeah, it's not like a lifestyle for me. I'm not part of like the vegan lifestyle. I'm just like a normal person who happens to be vegan, I feel like. I mean, I'm not really that normal because I'm a YouTuber, but there are lots of things that come before veganism for me. I'm not vegan for the sake of being vegan. I'm vegan because ultimately I'm a consequentialist. Maybe that makes sense. So, fine. Again, I am genuinely loving this video. Just because you're vegan does not give you the right to force it on your dog. Okay, so another dog one.
First of all, let's acknowledge that you and I are the same. We both care about animals. Otherwise, you would not have posted that, right? The reason that I feed Bella vegan dog food is because I, as an ethical vegan, have a responsibility to do the least harm. That means including all animals. Bella is not any more special than the cows out there, the chickens out there, the pigs out there. All animals are important. I don't want to pay somebody to kill other animals in order to feed my dog if I don't have to.
Yeah, really, really great response. We care about dogs because we happen to have domesticated dogs and made them our pets. That's really it. So those were all the videos that were sent to me, the 10 or so, I think. Oh, her name is Katie, Miss Katie. Okay, I was wondering, what's her name? Miss Katie is on TikTok to help animals and all who are oppressed. She, her, rainbow. I'm just going to pick a few and see if, I don't know, maybe we can find some super cringe ones. I've got a cringe deficit going on here.
Apparently Canadians are supposed to be all quiet and polite. Well, fuck that shit, that ends tonight. We're rising up to get an animal bill of rights. We're singing vegan, Regan, Russell's song, and if we need to, we will sing it our whole lives long. We're here to remind you of the animal's pain, and will not let our friend's death have been in vain.
That was really sweet. If people have a problem with that, like, you're cold-blooded, man. And she's not a bad singer. She's all right. What's wrong with you that you would respond to a song like that? There's something wrong. What's wrong with your heart? No, it's just people, it's just kids who are upset that she's criticizing something they do regularly. And they're children. Let's be real. It's not all children. It's adults as well who just can't handle it. And she's a little bit cringy, which just kind of adds fuel to the fire. And, she's very sincere, which is very uncomfortable for people. And I think she's very comfortable in her own skin. I mean, she seems totally comfortable doing this and getting all the comments she gets. So, like, good for her. But yeah, man, people don't like that. Cancel the Vegan Teacher 2020. Why did you have to ruin the app?
That's terrible. I I don't know. What can I do? What can I do to make up to you for this terrible thing I've done? I guess I could close my account, eh? I'll consider it, okay? That make you feel better? Oh, wait. Can't you just, like, block me? Can you do that? I have a feeling there's a button you can press. And, like, you'll never have to see me again. Guys, is it true? Can you guys in the comment section answer?
Come on. Come on, guys. Okay, so those were her two most recent. I'm just gonna click on a random one here. I'm offended about what she said about religion.
I offended you. Did you offend yourself when you paid for the murder that you ate today? Did you offend yourself when you paid for the dairy products that come from a cycle of violence? It's amazing. Words can offend you, but your own knife stabbing into the flesh of someone who died screaming in pain and begging for their life, that doesn't offend you?
I have no problem with tone policing or whatever you want to call it. I've talked about that before. I think, unfortunately, when you're trying to convince people of things, your tone does matter. You know, like it or not, it does. And, you know, being a grown-up means recognizing that. So I understand someone criticizing her for, you know, maybe even saying meat is murder or being kind of cringy and maybe turning people off in that way. I can understand that criticism to a point. I guess a good example would be, you know, making the comparison between animal agriculture and the Holocaust or slavery. It is an apt comparison. Again, not equating the two, but comparing them, it is an apt comparison. It makes sense. But it is very hurtful to a lot of people, and understandably so, because people typically, if someone is viewed as inferior, they are called an animal because animals are unfortunately seen as inferior. Even though it is a correct comparison, and I think a really good comparison, especially when we talk about the excuses, the justifications used for instance, slavery, very similar to justifications used for eating animals. But we hurt people's feelings and potentially turn them off for good, I think, when we make those comparisons, especially the way that a lot of people make them, which is just very bluntly and without a whole lot of nuance. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm talking about, I guess, in terms of messaging, just being careful with how we say things and even what we say to an extent. But most of the things she says, she's right. It is pretty silly that you're offended by her words, but you're not offended by the suffering that you support. I don't know if she's convincing a lot of people or not, or just kind of getting a lot of attention and making people mad. I don't know, but I don't know if I'm doing a whole lot or if I'm just getting attention and making people mad either. And there's a difference between maybe being a little bit careful with our messaging and just being a different person and being inauthentic, right? And I think this is who, to a point, I think she's playing up some of this, but I think this is who she is. What am I trying to say? I don't want to say like, well, she just shouldn't advocate for veganism then because she's like too vegan or something. You know what I mean? She's like stereotypical vegan. I don't know what else to say about that vegan teacher. People are very uncomfortable with what she's talking about. It makes people uncomfortable, and it should. But yeah, I'm not really sure why so many vegans are asking me to talk about her. I'm sure there are some things that she says that are wrong. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some like antinatalist stuff in there. That would not shock me at all. You guys need to watch some more cringe, man. You need to expand your cringe repertoire. I don't know, but yeah, because that was pretty like meh. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe, support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan, and I will have a new video soon. And, you know, anything that she does say that's like wrong or whatever, there's a really good chance I've already talked about it on this channel and I've already responded to it from some other vegan saying it. So yeah, if you have like a question about something she said, try to search for it on my channel. There's a good chance I have a video if you're interested. Thanks again. Bye.